Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So yesterday I was just going through my computer trying to clean up. I was running out of space on it and I needed to delete some videos. And as I was going through and seeing what videos were stored on it, I come across a video from 3 years ago. And it was the time where I was interviewed by a Sky News reporter in Fur Clemt Food Initiative. So we're going back 3 to 4 years ago now when I actually did this interview for Sky News. And as I say, it was for the Food Initiative Fur Clemt. Now, 3 4 years ago, we first started to feel the tightness of how it's affecting us financially. Electric bills were going through the roof, our mortgage was increasing, inflation was just going crazy. We were still recovering from lockdown and the implications of how those finances had affected us, with going on less pay. I mean, personally, my husband had to go on much less pay during the lockdown period. And we lost a lot of money. So by this stage, when this video is recording, we were still playing catch up basically, and with everything, inflation escalating and the prices of food, gas, petrol, mortgage variations, everything going through the roof, it was really quite a tight period. Fur Clemt, for anyone who doesn't know, is a food initiative that salvages food from landfill. It's not a food bank and it's open to everybody in the community, regardless of what your income is, high or low. Everybody is welcome. You pay a £5 membership and everything you buy, you pay that yearly, and everything you buy in the shop is highly, highly discounted. And people who watch my haul videos will see how discounted those prices are. Only last week I did a shop that I literally spent just over £10 on my grocery haul. And when I did the price cost analysis to compare that to what it would have cost me in a supermarket, it was just under £200 worth of groceries. So you can see how highly discounted those prices are. So when I was asked to do this interview, I was thrilled. I'm not going to say I wasn't. I was absolutely thrilled. I was quite nervous to present myself on live TV because, of course, this was a live production. Making sure I represented Fur Clemt well and obviously represent myself well being on live TV. And with me being there and being recorded, my husband was at work and nobody got the opportunity to record it for me. And it was only when I got home later that day, my friend who actually lives in Wales was actually watching TV. Bearing in mind, this is 7 a.m. in the morning. This was a live production, 7 o'clock in the morning on Sky TV. And she messaged my Facebook page and shared the video there. And she was flabbergasted when she called me in the evening. She said, I couldn't believe it. She said, I'm just sat there in my pyjamas with a cup of tea, she said. And I look up and she said, there you are on the TV. She said, I was flabbergasted. She said, so I had to share it to you straight away. She said, I have to call you to find out what it was all about. She said, as soon as I saw your face, she said, it took me a minute for it to trigger because it was 7 o'clock in the morning. She said, as soon as I saw your face and realised it was you, she said, I thought, what's going on here? Why is she on Sky TV? But yeah, it was a good experience. I was already producing my YouTube videos by then anyway, so although I was nervous inside, I was able to just do what I did. And I'll show you that video now and you'll be able to see it. It's only 2 minutes long. But what I'm thinking of today, sat here, is although we were panicking then and thinking the price increases were bizarre, You know, to have so many increases on our mortgage, food bills, petrol, etc., in that short space of time, we thought that was the peak of how far it'd go. How did you feel about things 3-4 years ago, if you can remember looking back? We'll watch the video and we'll come back and I'll tell you how I feel about that. The nice for these vegetables that I'm getting today, that's £5 before I start, and there's no luxuries in that, there's no meat, there's no fish.
And we're going through a cost of living crisis right now. Are you worried? Are you a bit worried about the future and what it holds? You were saying, you know, the bills are going up at home. Is it a worry for you looking forward?
It's a big worry. My mortgage has gone up already 3 times this month alone, you know, so that's £100 increase just on my mortgage. The petrol is through the roof. I'm paying 3 times the amount I was on electricity and gas, so to keep that going, it's a tough time for us at the moment, you know.
In terms of a community space like this, you know, you're saying you're getting your vegetables a lot cheaper, there's ready-made meals here as well. How much does this help you when you're trying to save at home for prices shooting up?
I actually prepare food, so I will dehydrate food, I will can food, I will preserve food. So here I can buy, as I say, 5 lots of vegetables for £1. I can do that twice weekly, which gets me 10 lots of vegetables for £2. Also, they provide bulk buys, so sometimes I can buy a full tray of fruit, so I can go home, make my own jams, make my own preserves. I can buy a whole tray of leeks, I can chop them, freeze them, put them in the freezer.
It's clearly doing amazing work for you, life-saving, isn't it?
It is. It keeps us functioning as a family, and we're fed and we're looked after.
Mary-Ann, thank you so much. I've got your shopping, so you better take that and head to the till. An amazing place here that helps people like Mary-Ann. They were saying that she really is the kind of customers that they get here on a regular basis, providing food for those who vitally need it here in Wigan.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed that short piece of footage. As I say, I haven't shared it on the channel before, so with coming across it today, I thought, well, I'll share it, you know, because it pertains to everything I do. Everything I do is about the food initiatives and how they are available there and how they do save so much money individually for each household, but save that food from going to landfill. My town has a very large landfill, and I was quite a few years ago active in not wanting it to be extended to the length that it was. The landfill in my town is humongous, so anything that I can do to salvage food from landfill, I actually put a lot of effort into that, and I'm glad I did start doing that at that stage, because it's helped me in so many ways, mostly financially, because to get just under £200 worth of shopping for £10, it's a virtual miracle. So these places are absolutely amazing. I've shared several videos. All my haul videos relate to Fur Clemt and other food initiatives I use. I've also shared videos to help individuals look on interactive maps to see what food initiatives are in your area. There are lots all around the UK, and a week doesn't go by without someone asking me in the comments, where'd you get this food? How do I find one? I don't think we have these in our locality. And I'm often sitting here looking for a food initiative in another part of the country to help someone out. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing it. And I enjoy it when they come back and they say, well, we found it, we're going now, we're using it, etc., etc. But how do I feel things have changed in this last 3-4 years was the original question. And I think at that point, I didn't think things could get any worse. I really didn't. I thought we'd get to a peak and then it'd climb down. But if we look at today's inflation, it's actually much higher now than it was even then. Inflation now here in the UK is just under 5%, which is a lot higher than it was 3-4 years ago. Are we becoming comfortably numb? Are we getting used to it and think it's not as bad as it was? Or are we feeling the pinch much tighter than ever? I think it's different for different people. Because I have preserved food, because I have always looked at a 12-month supply. Have I got enough to get us through? If I can't shop tomorrow, other than fresh vegetables or fresh bread, milk, etc., have I got enough to get us through for 12 months? And that's been my priority, and that's how I look at prepping. So I think preppers who have prepped for quite a while are kind of gliding through this period of coming up to 5% inflation. I think people who haven't had that concept earlier are feeling the pinch tighter than ever. And there are so many people now. A lot are going to food initiatives, but there are so many people now dependent on food banks because the struggle is high. And I don't think the food banks can sustain long term an even larger increase of people that are dependent on them. Food initiatives buy and tender, so they buy their food from grocery stores, yes, again at a discount price, but they buy that so it's not sent to landfill. It gives the superstore, the supermarket, a incentive to gain money from their surplus rather than put it in landfill and pay for that experience. I think more and more people are using food initiatives, but there's still a lot of people out there that don't. I have been alone for quite a while covering this area, and I really enjoy that fact. You know, people at first would say to me, "Oh, you're taking food from people that may need it," and that really is not the concept of what happens. People work, and two people working in a family and still struggle. You know, we only have one person working in the family, and it helps us enormously. And it gives us such a range of what we eat as well. But the climate itself, I do think it's getting tighter and tighter to manage budgets, electricity costs, mortgage costs, everything and anything you can think of. We actually, just not long after that interview with Sky TV, sat down and worked our finances out. And because of the central heating, electricity, gas, etc., being so expensive at the time, and it continued to climb thereafter, we decided to cut our cloths ultra tight. And we were about to save up for a wood burner. Now, fortunately enough, at that time, we had a little bit of a windfall. I think it was tax relief. I can't remember exactly what it was right now. And we invested that money and bought a log stove wood burner. And then we went out and foraged wood and collected pallet wood from free sites, etc. So that money decreased for us what we were paying for central heating in the home, and it forced us to think of alternatives. Instead of keep paying these increases, let's look at alternatives. So we cut down not paying the extra from the supermarkets because of places like Fur Clemt and food initiatives alike. We cut down the central heating costs by investing in the wood burner and foraging free wood. And like for like, we were doing several things like that within the home and within our lifestyle to cut down and make life more affordable. I'm hoping this all makes sense, and I'm hoping it ties into that interview. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know, how drastically do you think times have changed for the better or for the worse in your personal circumstances in the last 3 to 4 years to today? Just a thought. Okay, thank you for coming today. Please take care. Remember you're loved, and the world is a much better place because you're in it. Bye.